I created a dummy and put it in my bed. Then snuck out the window. When I got home the dummy was still there. I started dancing and celebrating. Then the dummy popped up. It was my dad. Nearly shat myself. Then he made me dig up the septic tank the next morning. Still the scare was what got me. What's the most strangely unique punishment you ever received as a kid? How bad was it? I desperately wanted to order WrestleMania. I was a massive Hulk Hogan fan. Well, I was acting like a little turd and wouldn't stop. So, my dad ordered the WrestleMania pay-per-view. He sat in the living room and watched it and made me sit in the other room where I could just barely hear it but couldn't see it. He watched the whole damn thing and didn't let me move or ever see the screen. It was just effing brutal. Edit. Lots of softies in here saying this is bad parenting. Calm down. Dad gave me the chance to be better. I didn't listen. I had this crap coming. In elementary school we had this one really strict teacher that would make us T-pose in the back of the room if we were being disruptive. Every one of us scoffed at the idea until about a minute in and your arms are killing you. Very effective punishment. A friend of mine recently told me that his mom used to have him kneel on uncooked rice when he did something wrong. Sounds miserable if you ask me. Very popular in old Catholic schools. Can cause permanent nerve damage. Hurts a bunch. My sisters and I would have to memorize passages from Shakespeare together. It was horrible to be fighting and then sit together for half an hour or more memorizing and reciting until my dad returned. One wrong word and he'd leave us for a while. Probably the worst part is it made me hate Shakespeare. I've had corporal punishment and all that but this stuck out. In high school my friend got caught smoking weed by his mom. His punishment was that he had to tell his 95-year-old strictly religious great-grandmother, who thinks weed is just as bad as heroin. My dad made us all go to the back of a 45-minute line at the theme park because I was being impatient and bratty. Would do similar things if anyone complained about dinner or how long it took to cook they would eat after everyone else. Forced to smell dog breath. Because if we have to deal with the filth from your mouth, you have to deal with the filth from its mouth. It sounds funny, and it is funny looking back on it, but good god it was not funny then. I begged for almost anything else. When I was 4, my mother was fed up with my stubborn refusal to eat my sandwich at lunch one day. She picked it up, separated the 2 slices, and stuck it to my face. There was a moment of complete silence as I stopped whining and evaluated what she'd done. After that we were both too collapsed with laughter to be mad at each other. Not my punishment but my brother's. He was in kindergarten and often got physical with other kids by pushing them and whatnot. After being told a couple times by the teacher my dad had enough. When my brother and I got home from school he asked my brother to get his 3 favorite Game Boy games. I went upstairs as I suspected something terrible was about to happen. My mom and dad took my brother out to the garage, gave him a hammer, and told him to smash the games to bits. I could hear my brother screaming bloody murder and my dad yelling back to swing the hammer. After a couple seconds and screams I heard a ping as the hammer bounced off the plastic game laying on the concrete. Then another and yet another. I was absolutely petrified as I could hear my brother screaming in horror. He never lashed out again, and I made damn sure not to misbehave as it mentally scarred me too just from hearing it. I didn't want to eat my cereal because I thought it was too soggy, so my mom made me sit there until I ate it all. Of course by the time I finally ate it, soggy was a distant memory. It was basically soup. When I eat cereal now, I can only put a tiny amount of milk. Edit. My mom only did this one time. Either I was being a major brat that day or she was out of fucks to give. But it was still enough to scar me. Not sure it's unique, but I had a welt on my leg for a week in the shape of a wooden spoon. The welt from part of the handle only lasted a day. It was awful. Summertime so I was in shorts when she hit me. Why did she hit me? I was 12 and my parents' friends came over to help paint my bedroom. Their kids were younger than me, but they got to help. I asked to help too, and was told no. So I asked why kids younger than myself got to paint and I didn't. I was just asking. I truly didn't understand. So she fucking hit me with the spoon, and was screaming about how all I did was sass, and what an ungrateful little bitch I was. My stepdad wasn't home to intervene. Sadly, he had a different way of punishing me. I was 14 when he passed away, and even at 14, if I needed punished, my ass got sent to the corner. Even if I had friends over, it was beyond embarrassing. Still better than the spoon, or the shoe, the sweater, the belt, whatever item was handy to my mom. He died 31 years ago, and I still miss him every damn day. She died 2 years and 3 days ago, and I still don't give a shit. I actually got my mouth washed with soap, but I wasn't cussing. I was sticking my tongue out and making fart noises at my dad while throwing a tantrum. We didn't have a bar of soap either, so he grabbed my tongue and rubbed liquid hand soap on it and held my mouth shut for 1 minute. My siblings and I would have to brush our teeth with the Blue Dawn dish soap for cursing. These days you might as well just down a Tide Pods. My parents removed my door, and I was left with a bed and a dresser. Edit. It's nice to know I'm not the only one with strict parents. Solidarity. My parents removed my door too. You're not alone. Because I would lock myself in my room to masturbate, my parents removed my door. Needless to say, they put it back after a day. You establish some dominance that day. Parents would lock the computer with a password that required me to go to the library and research random bits of information. Such as, the password is the capital of Kazakhstan. It mainly made me waste hours of each day before I could even do my homework. I don't remember any of the passwords they made me look up. I loved gardening as a kid, but I could not control the hose as I was just 6 or 7. So I splashed some windows on accident that my mom just cleaned. So she wrapped the garden hose around my neck like a noose and put on the water. Almost strangled me to death, and I had neck pains for weeks. Edit. Yeah, it's mistreatment. I never said that was a good thing my mom did. She was / is terrible. We had to write papers. You hit your brother? Write 2 pages on why violence is wrong. You disobeyed? Write 2 pages on the necessity of listening to your parents. You were mean. Write a page on the importance of kindness. You didn't clean your room. 3 pages on why you should obey first time told and why organization is important. Suffice it to say that I made it through college quite easily because I could bullshit a paper in no time. I thought I was a badass at 15 and snuck a bottle of Hennessy into my room. I hid it in the closet and would drink some with my friends after school. Well, my mom decided to clean my room randomly and found the bottle. When I got home, my dad made me sit down and put the bottle in front of him. He then put out 3 glasses and called my little sister, 13, and brother, 11, and told them to sit with me. He then poured 3 glasses of Henny and told me to serve it to my siblings. I said no way. And he asked why not, and I said, because they are too young, to which he replied, you are too. So he made me pour everything down the sink. To this day I never bring alcohol to my father's house. That psychological punishment stuck with me for life. Wet the bed until I was 10. As a punishment, my stepfather had installed a locking mechanism on the outside of my bedroom door. I would be locked in with the only escape being school and toilet breaks once every 3 hours. As an addition, if I wet the bed 2 nights in a row, I had to leave the sheets on the bed till I didn't wet. I have a vivid memory of me as an 8-year curled in a ball in the only dry part of my bed trying to sleep. More unique in its execution. Parents took away my PS2. I looked all throughout the house trying to find it when they were out to even play a little bit. Bastard stashed it under my bed. I once flunked a class in middle school and my dad got his belt ready. I look at him all scared and he just looks at me straight in the eye and says, "This is not for you, this is for me. You will hit me with this belt for being a bad parent and not being there for you." I just started crying. I had no idea how to process that event. It eventually made me realize that my dad wanted me to feel his pain in some way. I still have my doubts if that was the best method, but I never failed a class after that. Holy fuck, that is a fucking power move. My mom loves to tell the story of how she and her sister wouldn't stop arguing. So my grandma put their brother's toy boxing gloves on them and told them they had to hit each other. I guess they just stood there crying and refusing, while my grandma jabbed them with a broom yelling, "Do it. Hit your sister." Thanks for watching. Click on the thumbnail on the left to see skyscraper window cleaners share most bizarre stories, and on the right to see multilinguals share their they didn't know I could understand their language stories. And genuinely have a wonderful day.